You know, I've been thinking. We take so much shit for granted. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, okay, first one comes to mind, NASCAR. So I was driving with my girlfriend the other day. She was driving, and we are getting on the freeway, and there's these two. Well, this one exit for both the on and off ramp, um, or both on ramps. She like instead of just going on the inside of the corner where there's like a dip because she has a car, so she doesn't want to like scrape the bumper or anything. So she kind of goes at an angle, but instead of doing it just like the minimum, like the least angle that she needs or whatever, she goes like almost does like a U-turn at the very edge of the on ramp, and it like you can really feel how much force is getting put on the front tires. And so I was thinking about how like wow man, the rubber on our tires like really flexes a lot and takes a lot of friction, so it gets really hot. And that's why on just when you're driving, your tire pressure increases as your tires get warmer because it increases the energy and the molecules on the inside of the air. They move faster, hit the walls faster, increase pounds per square inch of pressure. But the point is that they heat up, and then the hot rubber sticks to the concrete the road much better. Just like you've ever had like a rubber toy and it's left in the heat and it starts sticking to like the ground or whatever. Imagine that, but that's your tires. And so when you get going at really high speeds, like 200 plus miles per hour, the tires get so hot that they're literally melting onto the pavement as you drive. So you have like it's that sticky rubber, like so much friction, so much traction on this car that's going really fast. And so that's what I was thinking in NASCAR, they're going like 160 to like 200 miles per hour, I think, or 190, really close to 200 miles per hour, and they have all that downforce on their car, and the car's at an angle, and the car's in the heat. Inside the car, it can get up to 180 degrees. That's freaking ridiculous. Like some of these NASCAR drivers are driving a car going 160 plus miles per hour, making split second decisions in a car that's 180 degrees. That's like insane. I'm pretty sure I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast, and I can't remember the driver. NASCAR driver was talking, and he was like, "Yeah, some guys like you start passing out, like you start seeing stuff, like that's insane." Um, I couldn't imagine that because even just working out, I work out in the heat, and so you can notice how like as the day goes on, you just start to like slow down, and you're just like, hold on a second, what? And so it really starts messing with your head. And so like I couldn't imagine driving a car going that fast and just but another thing, like you said, so that's why they change out the tires every X amount of laps, but they do it like multiple times each race because that it's just melting, and you can even notice towards in the beginning of the race, track's all clean. Towards the end of the race, there's rubber on the outside because it's just melting onto the pavement and then getting kicked up and off to the side, and so you see all the rubber all over the track. It's crazy. And that's why what is it? The Bugatti when it hits 230 plus miles per hour or whatever, the tires only will what is it? Oh yeah, it has a 20 no. It has a huge gas tank. And at 230 miles per hour, the two V8 motors are drinking up so much gas that you will run out of fuel, I think in like 4 minutes or 4 miles or something. I don't remember. It's a really short distance. Like you'll run out real soon. Um, but the thing is though, is the tires will actually run out before you run out of gas. I believe they both run out really fast, and those tires cost like 20 or 50,000, some ridiculous amount of money, and they're gone in a day, less than a day, like less than an hour. That's insane. Oh, yeah, so NASCAR. So there's all this science, and like those cars are going 160 miles per hour. Those guys are driving cars in 180-degree temp. Um, the tires, because the car is at such like a drastic angle. I think it's like 25. No, shit, it might have been more than that. Like 45. I don't know. No, probably not 45. It's really freaking steep. Driving on a really steep incline so that so all the angular acceleration or angular momentum and all that stuff. No, well, yeah, angular acceleration. All the energy is directed down on the car instead of pushing the car sideways across the track if it was flat. Now, because it's at an angle, the car's getting pushed down against the track, which is causing even more friction. Plus the downforce of the aerodynamics, plus the weight of the car, all that stuff pushing down on those tires. The rubber getting so hot it's melting and just like burning onto the track that he said when he was driving the car, it feels like a roller coaster, like it's on rails. Like it goes exactly where you point it. It doesn't slide around. It's not like doesn't feel weird. And then even when he was flipping, because you're flipping so fast and the car is spinning so fast that there's so much, you're getting pushed, and your seat's so low in the car, you're getting pushed down on the car, into your seat. So it almost feels like you're right side up the entire time, because you're flipping with such a angular momentum or whatever, that you just feel stuck in your seat. Like, that's insane. You don't feel like you're upside down, you feel like you're still right side up, even though everything that you're seeing outside the windows are all upside down. That's insane. And yet, so many people talk about, oh yeah, NASCAR, they're just another left turn, let's go, buddy. But that's not what it is. It's actually insane. And when you go there, it's so loud. So loud. Like, if you don't have earmuffs on, me and my brother, my dad took us a couple times. Me and my brother thought, oh yeah, we're cool, you know. We don't need these headphones on. We're men. It's so loud, you just feel it in your chest. It's just everything shaking. It's insane. It's like a mobilized thunderstorm. I don't know how to explain it, but it's insane. It's so insane that we took my dad took one of his friends one time, and we were there, and he's never thought anything of it, like, oh yeah, it's just a race, whatever, you know. And he came with us, and when they came by, and then run, 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 just so loud, you feel it in your chest, and it's just like, just insane. And he started crying and said it was the most American thing he's ever experienced. And it was like, you couldn't even make fun of him because it was so cool. And it's just, you gotta, yeah, it's really boring to watch on TV unless if you actually know what's going on. But like, hey, the race I went to, it was in PIR in Phoenix International Raceway, and fucking so I don't remember who the other guy was, but he was driving around and he ended up clipping I believe it was Jeff Gordon, because Jeff Gordon was like my driver. No shit, was it? I don't remember. So somebody clipped somebody. I'm probably biased because I like Jeff Gordon. I'm trying to make Jeff Gordon the cool guy. But somebody clipped somebody, and then the person that got clipped or cut off or something just dropped back and just all the way through the pack. Like, this guy was in the top 5, and he just drops all the way back through all, 28 cars, I think, all the way back to the back, and goes out to the outside and waits for that guy to come back around, and then he just dives down on the track and just wipes them out, dude. Like, those regular cars, you could kill somebody, but because they're so, structurally engineered and everything to take impacts and all that kind of crazy stuff, guy's fine. But he just wipes them out, wrecks them out. They both go into the pits. They get out of the car. They run at each other. When you fucking smacks it. I don't know if he had a helmet in his hand. And then all the teams are like running around. I don't know if the team started fighting. They started pulling people apart. It was insane. And then the rest of the people got back on track and then just shaking everything. It's insane. But yeah, if you go, you definitely either have to take earplugs. If you can, you have to rent earmuffs, especially if you can get the ones with the radios in them, because then you can talk to like the people you're with, and you can also listen in to the drivers, you know, with the guy, oh, don't turn down, oh, he's coming on your left side, oh, okay, blah, 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 oh, screw him, you know, whatever, and everything, they're yelling at each other, and so you listen to that while watching the race, and it's really something. It's like not a once in a lifetime experience, but like it's something you should do once in your lifetime. Like it's kind of like a bucket list item, I'd say. It's really something to experience. Yeah, probably if you're not into racing, obviously not. But like if you're into cars and racing, it's really, really something. Obviously, you can't do that right now because of, you know, the sad sickness that's going around. But when that clears up, me, my dad, and I'm trying to get my friends, I'm gonna go to one. So, all right, well that's it. But actually, that's not it. The whole point of this was not to hype up NASCAR, but to just show how there's so many things that we take for granted every day. Who was it? Somebody said something about if like you took one of our cars on the freeway, if you were to go back in time and pull somebody from like even just 100 years ago, so say like 1920, and when cars like max speed was like 15 miles per hour, I don't even know if they even had cars back then, but you took somebody from there and you brought them to now, and you put them in a car and took them on a freeway, they think they'd be on a damn rocket ship and like they could die at any second, and yet we just hop in them every day, don't even think about it. Like, their max speed was 15 miles per hour. Usain Bolt can run at, is he 18? It's like 18 or 26. No, it's a really wide range. The point is, he could run faster than a car. Nowadays, you buy a car that goes 260, I think they're starting to push 300. 300 miles per hour. That's... How many is that? Eight times as fast? No. It would be 8 per 100. So like it's 20 something times as fast. That's ridiculous. So it's just like there's so many things that we take for granted. The fact that we can just record our voice and just put it on the internet and anyone can see it at any point in time, anywhere in the world. Pretty much anywhere in the world. You can get cell service all over the world. That's insane. When it was just in 1960s, 30s, I don't remember, but not that long ago when they had the telegraph. When it's beep, 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 beep. That's insane. There's so many things that we take for granted. AC. No one would live in the damn desert if you didn't have AC. Like used to, everyone lived on the coast or in the mountains or wherever it was cooler. You just didn't live in the desert because you didn't have no AC. It's freaking hot. And now most of our two of our top three, I don't remember, biggest cities in the US are in deserts. That's insane. So, we just take so much stuff for granted these days. Like old people, like my dad has a hard time on the internet. And yet nowadays you have like 6-year-olds getting on TikTok, making an account, recording videos, getting 300,000 views. Our parents probably only met 300,000, less than 300,000 people in their lifetime. Like, even being in the vicinity, even seeing with their eyes, 300,000 people. And these 300,000 people saw this one kid's one video he posted one day. Like, that's insane. And he's 6. And then they, like, say, oh, that's so cool, dude. I like your video, bro. And he's like, thanks. Peace. Whatever. And he's 6. And then you have an old person, you give him a phone. Like, somebody that's only 50 years old. Like, it was only born 50 years ago. So in 1960, they pick up a phone, have no idea what to do. You say TikTok, they say tick what? You want tic tac? You know? It's insane. So, try not to take everything for granted. At least think about it once in a day. Really gives you a different perspective and makes you see more things in a positive light. Like, even today's low income in America are better than a lot of countries. Like, the bottom people here. So it's just, don't take things for granted. Because if you didn't know something better, then you would think what you have is the best. So it's only you seeing on TV, being aware that there's something better, seeing, superstars with like super expensive stuff. Whereas in some countries, people would just be grateful to have the lowest, the bottom of the barrel stuff that we have. So it's all just put things in perspective.
Also, go watch the Joe Rogan Experience with David Cho. It's episode 1518. You're welcome.